What if the real reason your life hasn't changed is because of the truth you keep avoiding? These aren't just motivational quotes. They're wake-up calls, harsh truths, unfiltered wisdom, and if you stick with this video until the end, you just might walk away with a new mindset and maybe a new life. Life lessons you need to hear before you break through. You'll lose it if you talk about it too soon. Your plans, your peace, your potential. Some things are sacred. Protect them in silence. The more you try to be everything to everyone, the more you start becoming nothing to yourself. Trying to fit in everywhere eventually erases who you really are. Keep clinging to the past, and your future won't stand a chance. The longer you stay tied to what hurt you, the harder it becomes to create something better ahead. There will always be people who can't recognize your value, but don't let one of them be you. If you don't consciously separate yourself from your distractions will eventually separate you from your dreams. Hard truths. We all need to accept a man who fears rejection has already rejected himself, because when you avoid being told no, you're saying no to your own growth. Life is like an elevator. On your way up, you'll have to stop sometimes and let certain people off. Not everyone can handle the next level you're stepping into. The moment you stop begging for validation from others is the moment you start finding true confidence. You stop performing, you start living. Set your goals ridiculously high. And if you fail, you'll still fall above the average success. You can only transform your life when your mind becomes stronger than your emotions. Movement, mindset, and letting go. A toxic environment will shape you long before you can shape it. If the people, energy, or habits around you are draining you, leave. People will disappoint you. It's not personal, it's reality. That's why you should never give all your trust to anyone, not even the ones you love most. Even if you're on the right path, if you just stand still, you'll get run over. Progress isn't just about knowing where to go, it's about having the courage to keep moving. Don't lose yourself by tolerating too much just to keep people around, because the ones you have to exhaust yourself to keep, they're already halfway out the door. You weren't rejected, you were redirected towards something better. And one day, you'll see why the door had to close. Identity, boundaries, and emotional freedom. When you stop trying to please everyone, you start to see who really values you. Not for what you do, but for who you are. If you find someone smarter than you, collaborate with them. Don't compete. Compete with your past self, not your allies. Avoid people who wear their pain like armor and use it as a weapon. Their wounds are not your battlefield. You grow in direct proportion to how much truth you're willing to face, without flinching, without blaming, without running. If you don't heal from what hurt you, you'll end up bleeding on people who never cut you. Courage, clarity, and silent power. The quickest way to develop unshakable confidence: do exactly what you're afraid to do. If someone treats you like you don't matter, believe them. When you build in silence, you become impossible to sabotage. No one knows where to strike because they don't know where you're going. If you understood how quickly the world forgets the dead, you'd stop living to impress people who never mattered. Never take advice from someone who isn't where you want to be. Their limitations are not your truth. Comfort is the most seductive addiction and the fastest route to quiet depression. People will start resenting you the moment they realize they can no longer control you. You are allowed to change the price of access. You've evolved. Not everyone gets to keep the same seat at your table. Stay tuned. If these truths hit hard, it's because they're supposed to. But now you know what needs to change, and that makes you unstoppable. Like, comment, keep it up if this resonated with you. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. we've got more deep, powerful lessons coming your way. Growth begins when excuses end. When we can no longer change the situation around us, life dares us to change ourselves. That shift from finger pointing to self-reflection is where growth truly begins. If you only blame your problems on someone else, don't expect your life to improve. Responsibility is a mirror, not a weapon. Pain doesn't just disappear when we ignore it. It leaves us only when it teaches us something. Otherwise, it lingers, waiting for the lesson to be learned. The present is all you truly have. Don't spend your life daydreaming about who you could have been in some other place under different circumstances. What if the life you want is hidden inside the life you already have? Stop wasting precious seconds comparing your journey to someone else's, because every second you do that, you're robbing yourself of the one you are living. Seek guidance, but choose carefully. Yes, be smart enough to ask for advice, but be wise enough to know who you're asking. Not everyone who talks has wisdom, and not everyone who's been where you're going knows how to help you get there. The truth about readiness, respect, and worth. We spend the first half of life figuring out what not to do, and the second half wishing we'd done more of what mattered. Here's a truth no one tells you. You're never really ready for what life demands. You just show up, do the hard thing, and that's what makes you ready. Stop expecting people to give you more respect than you give yourself, because the world reflects back the energy you carry. And sometimes the hardest part of the journey isn't the mountain. It's believing you're worthy of the summit. Build forward, don't fight backward. The secret to lasting change? Focus all your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. And while you're building, remember, never become completely dependent on anyone. Always be able to support yourself, mentally, emotionally, and financially. Hope isn't a strategy. You can't learn to drive while sitting in a parked car. To grow, you must get behind the wheel, even if the road ahead is foggy, even if you're not sure where it leads. The pain you avoid becomes the growth you delay. Growth is uncomfortable. Why? Because you've never been here before. It's new, it's foreign, but it's necessary. Hiding from problems won't make them disappear. The only way out is through. Never share your struggles with everyone, because as harsh as it sounds, 80% won't care, and 20% may even be glad you have them. Numbing pain might work for a while, but when it finally catches up to you, it hits harder, much harder. Discipline, discernment, and inner leadership. Your growth depends on your willingness to keep learning, even when it's boring, even when no one's watching, even when it's easier to quit. Sometimes you must let go of what you want to make room for what you truly deserve. If something is out of your hands, let it be out of your mind too, because the life ahead of you is far more important than the life behind. The road signs we ignore often lead to regret. If you go an entire day without facing any challenge, it might mean you've stopped growing, or worse, you're on the wrong path. Ignoring red flags just because you want to see the good in people, that kindness will cost you later. You learn nothing if you believe you're always right. Ego is the enemy of evolution. Be cautious about who you let into your life. Some people don't come to stay, they come to drain, then leave, and somehow still blame you for the mess. Mistakes don't define you, but they can refine you. The moment you realize your past mistakes don't define you, they teach you, that's the moment you begin creating a future that isn't shaped by regret, but by wisdom. Discipline is not punishment, it's self-respect in action. Keep the promises you make to yourself. Celebrate your small wins. Build that inner trust. Because when you believe in you, you don't need validation from anyone else. Remember, people give advice from their perspective, but only you know the journey you're really on. Protect your time, protect your energy. We all have to learn, eventually, how to make better choices and stick with the things that truly matter. There's only one thing more valuable than time itself: the people we give it to. So ask yourself, are you spending your time or investing it? Make the unconscious conscious until you bring awareness to your automatic habits. Your patterns will quietly shape your life, and you'll mistake that drift for destiny. As Carl Jung once said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Self-awareness isn't a luxury, it's your only shot at real freedom. Don't aim low and settle, aim high and stretch. The greatest danger isn't failing when your goals are too high, it's succeeding at something too small. Don't lower your aim just to feel safe. Growth never happens in comfort. Distance yourself from toxicity. Stay away from people who never admit they're wrong and always make you feel like everything's your fault. You don't need to carry someone else's denial on your back. And while we're at it, there's no shame in saying, I don't know. Nobody has all the answers. Pretending to be perfect doesn't make you flawless. It makes you fragile. People reveal themselves when they don't get their way. If someone only treats you well when they're getting what they want, pay attention and remember, if you can't say no, your yes loses all meaning. Success doesn't require permission. True success doesn't depend on praise, applause, or validation. It comes from seizing the moment, proving your ability, and following through no matter what stands in the way. And here's a hard truth. Stop being endlessly available to people who only show up when it suits them. You are not a backup plan. It's not the weight. It's the way you carry it. It's rarely the load itself that breaks us. It's how we carry it. And often our dreams come in sizes that feel too big because we're supposed to grow into them. Sometimes the pain you didn't ask for is the lesson you didn't know you needed. Authenticity comes with a price, but it's worth it. Being true to yourself might cost you relationships. It might lead to loneliness, but the cost of betraying yourself is far greater. Stop spending your energy complaining. Redirect it into action, because every complaint is energy wasted on noise when it could be used for change. Progress equals consistency plus sacrifice. What you want requires discipline. Don't blame others for letting you down. Blame the expectation that they wouldn't. Luck comes to those who work relentlessly, not those who wait patiently in silence. There is no growth, no breakthrough, no great success without sacrifice. The measure of a man's progress will always be tied to what he's willing to give up. Self-trust is built, not given. You're the only person you can control, and if you never try anything beyond your comfort zone, you will never grow. The easiest way to destroy your self-confidence? Break your own promises, again and again, until you stop trusting yourself. Mistakes don't stop you, but refusing to learn from them does. Patience, perspective, and personal growth. Patience is when you have every right to lose it, but you choose to understand instead. Worry doesn't fix anything. It only drains time, clarity, and energy that could have been used better elsewhere. Just because the boat rocks doesn't mean it's time to jump overboard. And remember, true growth is rarely accompanied by applause. Sometimes it's quiet, uncomfortable, lonely. Look deeper than appearances. At first, you might choose a partner for their looks, but eventually you'll realize your children won't be raised by someone's face. They'll be raised by their values. Who you're becoming is far more important than who you've been. And don't be afraid to go it alone if you have to. The right path isn't always crowded. The road to real success is lonely, but liberating the road to success, it's rarely crowded. And that's exactly why it works. The moment you feel like you're hanging on by a thread, that moment, take a breath. and let go. Why keep clinging to something that drains you, breaks you, or makes you feel small? You weren't meant to just survive. You were meant to rise. Going back to your ex, your old habits, your past self. That's like taking a fresh shower and putting on dirty underwear. It might feel familiar, but it's not clean. It's not right. Train your mind or be trapped by it. If you want peace, train yourself to take nothing personally. Nothing. This one shift will save you from 99% of your emotional storms. Sometimes doing the right thing still feels bad. And that's okay. Choosing your future often means grieving your comfort. Never make someone a priority if they only treat you like an option. Your heart deserves more than being someone's backup plan. Every time you lie on even to protect someone or avoid conflict, you're creating future problems you'll eventually have to clean up. Mistakes aren't the enemy. Denial is want to make better mistakes. Here's the trick. Don't hide them, especially not from yourself. Nobody sees all the invisible effort you give. They only notice the one thing you didn't do. The truth is, everyone will hurt you in some way. Your job is to find the ones worth hurting for. And remember this beautiful truth. You can start over anytime. You don't need a new year, a new job, or a second chance. You just need a decision, and that decision can be made today. Decision-making, self-honesty, and momentum. You'll never feel 100% certain about any major decision. But indecision is worse than the wrong one. Why? Because a wrong move can be fixed. But no move, it keeps you frozen. Life gives you endless chances to mess up. But it also gives you just as many chances to get it right. Don't be mad at people who can't change. Some people simply don't have the capacity, and that's not your job to fix. The first step toward changing your life, admitting you're not where you want to be. Awareness is the doorway to action. Discipline over motivation. Every time. If you're waiting to feel like it, you'll wait forever. Discipline will carry you through the days motivation never shows up. People learn how to treat you based on what you allow. You teach them through what you tolerate. The ones who ask the most from you often give the least in return. Accepting your flaws isn't defeat, it's courage. It means you're willing to improve instead of pretending you don't need to. Healing, truth, and alignment. You can't be happy with someone else if you haven't made peace with yourself. Your wound may not be your fault, but your healing, that's your responsibility. Not every thought in your head needs to be spoken. Silence is power, especially when the truth hasn't ripened yet. Short-term pain from facing the truth will always hurt less than the long-term regret of living in a lie. Your potential is waiting, but will you answer? There is nothing more terrifying than avoiding the full potential that's already inside you. If you don't make yourself valuable, if you don't stretch beyond what you've mastered, you'll be forgotten in a world that moves forward without waiting. Don't cling to a mistake just because it took a long time to make. Let it go. Learn. Evolve. Start with the body. Start with you. Fix your body before trying to fix your world. A weak body often reflects a weary mind. And strength, real strength, starts with showing up for yourself. True happiness. It doesn't come from applause. It comes from alignment. When your actions match your values. When you can look in the mirror and be proud. Never harm to heal. Never hurt others to heal yourself. And never harm yourself to fix someone else. When your intentions are pure, you don't lose people. They lose you. Trust this. Life has a way of working out, even when everything feels like it's falling apart. You can't have everything, but you can have what matters. You will always exchange something for something else. Energy, time, attention, love. Choose wisely and remember, you only get one body. Take care of it like your soul depends on it, because it does. Your body, your responsibility. For life, take care of your body. You'll have it for the rest of your life. It's incredibly resilient, but only gives back what you're willing to put in. Neglect it, and it won't betray you right away. But over time, it always keeps score. Let people be wrong and walk away in peace. You don't need to attend every argument you're invited to. Sometimes the most powerful move isn't proving someone wrong, it's letting them be wrong and walking away with your peace intact. Design or be designed. If you don't take the time to design your own life, you'll fall into someone else's version of it. And guess what they've planned for you? Not much. You're not here to fulfill someone else's expectations. You're here to build something that's uniquely yours. Live authentically or regret silently. Don't do anything you'd feel the need to lie about later. That little moment of dishonesty always comes at the cost of self-trust. And say no, loudly and clearly, to the desire to be perfect. Because perfection is the enemy of progress. If you're too focused on appearing flawless, you'll never be brave enough to improve. Comfort isn't the path. It's the trap. Choosing comfort over discomfort doesn't lead to a comfortable life. It leads to stagnation, to quiet dissatisfaction, to regret masked as stability. Share your progress, not your goals. Keep your momentum private and your fire alive. Treat yourself like someone you're responsible for helping. Would you feed your friend garbage thoughts all day? Then why do you do it to yourself? Who you become is the real reward. The greatest reward for your effort isn't what you get from it. It's who you become because of it. And remember, everything you hear is just someone's opinion, not fact. Everything you see is filtered through your perspective, not absolute truth. Be honest with yourself or life will do it for you. You'll need to make hard practical decisions about what you want in life and what you're willing to give up to get it. If you don't, life will make them for you, and its decisions won't always serve your dreams. Overthinking destroys momentum. Overthinking isn't intelligence. It's the mind spiraling into fear. It twists facts, invents problems, and keeps you stuck in what if while life passes by. Stay too long in a bad place, and it'll start to feel normal. You'll forget what peace feels like and miss out on your best years. Sometimes their behavior is the answer. Why wonder what they meant when their actions already answered the question? And why cling to yesterday when yesterday already let go of you? What matters most takes time. The most valuable things in life, love, wisdom, trust, they compound, slowly, quietly, over time. Sometimes there is no perfect decision. So what do? Make a choice, then make that choice right. If you follow the crowd, you become the average by doing what everyone else does. You guarantee average results. Most of our suffering comes from holding on to what should have been, could have been, or never was. The more you sweat in peace, the less you'll bleed in battle. You set the tone. Every day, the way you speak to yourself creates a blueprint for how others will treat you. Speak kindly. Speak firmly. Speak truthfully. If someone treats you poorly, it says everything about them, not about you, and never overlook contempt. When someone sees you as beneath them, they will eventually hurt you, emotionally, socially, or even physically. Walk away before the damage is done. Clinging is what creates loss. You can only lose what you refuse to release. Never sacrifice who you could be for who you are today. Comfort zones are prisons that look like safety. Perspective shifts. Everything, sometimes all you need is a new vantage point. From a different height, from a different angle. You see what you've been blind to for years. Maybe the reason you're not healing is because you're trying to become who you were before the pain. But that version of you no longer exists. There's a new you trying to be born. Breathe life into them. And above all, keep your standards high. The world doesn't rise to meet your desires. It rises to meet your standards. Don't settle just because it's there. Just because something is available doesn't mean it's right for you. Availability is not the same as alignment. Don't settle for comfort. Choose alignment with your truth, even if it's harder. Some lessons in life have to be learned more than once. Not because we're slow, but because life waits until we're ready to hear them for real. The chain of your character begins with a thought. You were born with 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that proportion. Less speaking, more listening. Deeper understanding. Watch your thoughts. They become words. Watch your words. They become actions. Watch your actions. They become habits. Watch your habits. They shape your character. And your character, it creates your destiny. Failure is feedback. Not final failure isn't the end. It's a directional sign saying, that's not the way, try another. So don't fear it, use it. Let it refine your aim and sharpen your path. Let people talk. You're not here to please the echo. Don't worry about what people whisper behind your back. People who gossip are often those ignoring the mess in their own lives. Your peace is worth more than their opinions. Remember this, whatever you stop obsessing over stops controlling you. The moment you loosen your grip, you gain back your freedom. Some things must be accepted. Some people must be released. In life, we're forced to accept things we didn't want to happen, to learn things we never wanted to know, and let go of people we never thought we could live without. This is not cruelty. This is growth. People change. That's not a betrayal. That's reality. Time doesn't always reveal truth. Sometimes it reveals people. Even someone you've known for years can switch on you. That's not your failure. It's their choice. Don't cling to people who fear your growth. They see your elevation as competition. Walk away. True solitude isn't loneliness. You cannot feel lonely if you genuinely enjoy the person you're alone with. Want change? Do the opposite of what you're used to. Growth lives outside your routines. Progress always comes with a price. Problems aren't punishments. They are the cost of progress. And you know who your real friends are. They talk good about you behind your back and truth to your face. Be the observer, not the reactor. Learn to sit still and observe. Not everything needs your energy. Not everything deserves your response. Don't overshare your past. Only you know the truth behind your story. Others may judge it, misunderstand it, or worse, use it against you. Let go of the apology that never comes. Life becomes simpler when you accept the apologies you never received. Take more responsibility, not because you're to blame, but because the more responsibility you take, the more power you claim. It's never too late to begin again. Don't let others' doubts become your limits. Often, they're just projecting their own fears. It's okay to outgrow people, places, and patterns that no longer serve you. That's not betrayal. That's evolution. You can win in life simply by being the last one who doesn't give up. Expect more from yourself, less from others. Expect little from others. Expect everything from yourself. Every single decision you make is a small vote for who you're becoming. Even the painful ones. They often carry lessons you didn't know you needed until they cracked you open. Your past prepared you. It didn't define you. You are not your past. You are the strength, the wisdom, and the resilience that your past built in you. And your first step to becoming someone new? Deciding you're not willing to stay where you are. They're not thinking about you. And that's freeing. You spend your first 20 years worrying about what people think. The next 20 denying that you care. and the 20 after that realizing they weren't thinking about you at all. Alone doesn't mean empty. Being alone doesn't mean you're broken. It means you've cleared space, and what grows in that silence might be the strongest version of you yet. Action is the cure for fear. Fear is born in stillness. We generate anxiety when we sit too long with our doubts, playing out every worst-case scenario in our heads. But action, even small, imperfect action, is what silences fear. Want to stay afraid? Overthink? Want to overcome it? Move. Confusion loves company. Choose wisely. If you want to make the wrong decision, ask everyone. Why? Because too many opinions will drown out your own. You'll lose your inner compass trying to navigate someone else's map. Don't look back. You're not going that way. Every time you look over your shoulder, you risk missing what's right in front of you. And here's the thing. If people could take back the pain they caused you, you'd lose the strength it built inside you. Life will test you, almost always, right before it blesses you. Shift your focus and change your future. If you focus on the hurt, you will stay in pain. But if you focus on the lesson, you'll grow stronger with every scar. The magic you're looking for? It's hiding in the work you're avoiding. Positivity is a decision. So is negativity. You can choose to be a negative person or a positive one, but only one of those choices will move you forward. And when it comes to your plans, never expose your next step. Just take the step. A fish with its mouth shut never gets caught. Let your results speak louder than your announcements. Doubt from others is often fear in disguise. The people who say you can't are usually the ones afraid that you will. So be careful how you speak to yourself, because you are listening. Your path is yours alone. Stop thinking you're doing life wrong just because your journey doesn't look like someone else's. It's not supposed to. If it keeps you grounded, brings you joy, and aligns with your truth. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Keep it quiet. Protect your peace. You choose the family that shapes you. The family you create is more important than the one you came from. And the more you truly know yourself, the less you'll need the approval of anyone else. Your past isn't a life sentence. Just because the past didn't go the way you planned doesn't mean your future can't be beyond anything you ever imagined. Never let small minds talk you out of big dreams. And when you try to please everyone, you almost always end up pleasing no one, including yourself. Growth requires change. We cannot become what we want while clinging to what we've always been. Yes, people will hurt you. The key is to find the ones worth enduring the pain for. If you keep asking yourself the same question, if you repeatedly question whether something is right for you, it probably isn't. Accept praise and criticism equally, because both sunshine and rain are required to grow anything meaningful. Don't shame yourself for what you didn't know before you did the best you could with what you knew at the time. Now that you know better, do better. But don't punish your past self for not having today's wisdom. Bad habits are comfortable prisons. They're like a soft, warm bed, easy to slip into, hard to get out of. And in the end, we regret the chances we didn't take, the love we were too scared to receive, the decisions we waited too long to make. Don't wait for change, become. Waiting for change while doing nothing to create it is like waiting for a train at a bus stop. Wisdom comes in 3 forms. 1, reflection, the noblest way. 2, imitation, the easiest way. 3, experience, the most painful but most unforgettable. Protect your inner voice. Don't let the noise of others drown out your intuition. Plan for the worst, hope for the best, but respect yourself, because the world notices when you don't. And finally, when it's impossible to make everyone happy, trying to do so will only leave you empty. Stay away from people who never take responsibility, but always find a way to blame the world. Or worse, you. Don't stare at the summit. Focus on the step. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when you're staring up the entire staircase. But real progress, it comes from focusing on just the next step. Be brave enough to be a beginner. Yes, brave enough to be bad at something new, because that's how everything meaningful starts. What you send out comes back. Your thoughts are like boomerangs. What you project outward is what life returns to you. Speak bitterness, bitterness comes back. Speak kindness, kindness finds its way home. Listen to what you don't want to hear. Don't just surround yourself with people who flatter you. Listen to those who tell you the truth, especially when it's uncomfortable, because growth often lives on the other side of ego. Stop entertaining what's not meant for you. The longer you hold on to what doesn't belong in your life, the longer you delay what does. And what's the real cost of procrastination? It's the life you could have lived. Depend on yourself, Finawans. Don't rely too heavily on anyone in this world. Even your own shadow disappears when you're in the dark. You can't pour into others when your own cup is empty. Take care of yourself first, not out of selfishness, but survival. Act boldly, not regretfully. It's better to act and later repent than to freeze in hesitation and regret forever. Excuses make today easy, but they make tomorrow harder. Discipline, it makes today tough, but builds a future that's lighter to carry. Know your limits, because takers don't. If you're naturally a giver, that's a beautiful strength, but know your limits, because takers rarely know theirs. Mental clutter breaks your focus. If your mind is cluttered, your hands will drop what they're holding. You'll fumble opportunity because you didn't declutter your thinking. Never rush to share your problems before you've tried to solve them. Solutions build self-trust, and that's more valuable than sympathy. It's not potential you lack. It's execution. You don't lack potential. You lack focus. You don't lack ability. You lack consistency. You don't lack resources. You lack strategy. You don't lack strength. You lack discipline. Your future is in your hands, but your doubt is only in your head. Don't try to skip the struggle. Everyone wants to avoid pain, but struggle is where your character is forged. Self-pity may feel warm, but it's toxic. Stay away from it. Vision without execution is just fantasy. You can daydream all you want, but if you don't take action, it's just illusion. Trying too hard to forget someone, you're still thinking about them all the time. You don't need support to be unstoppable. Don't let a lack of applause make you stop clapping for yourself. Don't fear losing people. Fear losing yourself while trying to keep everyone else happy. Putting things off until tomorrow? That's not delay, that's defeat in disguise. Silence, standards, and self-worth. Eventually, you'll mature enough to realize silence is more powerful than proving a point. If you don't set boundaries, don't be surprised when people stop respecting you. Talk less, build more, work harder than you speak. Don't chase what's not choosing. You learn to be okay with not being invited, not being included, not being noticed, because the peace you gain is greater than the validation you lose. It won't happen overnight, but if you quit, it won't happen at all. Work on yourself like it's a full-time job. Work at your job and you'll make a living. Work on yourself and you'll build a fortune. The hardest part is at the beginning. Just like a rocket, you burn the most fuel at takeoff, but that's what lifts you off the ground. The truth isn't always welcomed. Some people don't want to hear the truth. Why? Because truth destroys illusion, and illusion is comfortable. Don't be angry at the results you didn't get, for the work you never did. Big change begins with a small risk. The journey to your success, it begins with a single step, a tiny leap of faith, just one chance, taken today. Be alone until you're valued. Don't fear solitude. Fear settling for connection without respect. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. And always remember, what you say about others says more about you. After you've learned to take action, to let go with courage, and to walk your path with quiet determination, there's one final truth to remember. You're not starting over from zero. You're starting over with experience, with the strength forged through every failure you've endured. Start over, but this time, start wiser. Don't be afraid to start over. This time, you're not beginning from scratch. You're starting with clarity, with scars, with wisdom. It's not the future that's unclear. It's your thoughts about it that cloud your vision. Don't wish for a fair life. Become a stronger player. Stop expecting life to be fair. Start expecting yourself to be better, stronger, smarter, sharper. Someone capable of navigating anything life throws your way. And when you stop chasing what's wrong for you, you finally give the right things a chance to catch up. Embarrassment is the cost of entry. If you're too afraid to look like a beginner, you'll never become a master. Yes, you'll fall. Yes, you'll fumble. Yes, you'll look foolish. But that's the price of growth. Pay it proudly. Happiness isn't given, it's designed. No one is responsible for your happiness but you. If you expect others to create it for you, you'll always live in quiet disappointment. You know what you need to do, so don't wait. Start now, even if you don't feel ready. Not everyone makes it to the next chapter. Some people are not meant to go with you. They were just passing through, teaching you lessons you didn't know you needed. Be a good person, but don't waste time trying to prove it to anyone. Hard doesn't mean impossible. Just because it's hard doesn't mean it's not doable. Sometimes all it takes is to divide it into smaller steps. One today is worth two tomorrows. Be careful where you place your trust. Don't give second chances to people who broke your trust the first time. Salt and sugar may look the same, but one will destroy the dish. Trust slowly, forgive fully, but protect your peace like it's sacred. Private life, peaceful mind, powerful focus, privacy wins. Keep your progress to yourself until it's ready to speak for you. Happiness isn't a someday thing. It's a design for the now. And it starts with being okay alone, rather than pretending with the wrong people. Don't settle for good when great is possible. You may have to give up something good to reach something better. The more life lets you down, the more resilient you become. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. Stay true to yourself, even if it costs you. To move forward, you'll have to leave something behind. Old habits, old fears, old versions of yourself. Otherwise, you'll be left with regret, not memories. Be impatient with your actions, but patient with your results. Limitations begin where your thinking stops. There are no limits, except the ones you place in your mind. Distance yourself from people who bring out the version of you you're trying to outgrow. Solitude isn't emptiness. It's where you reconnect, embrace solitude. Use it as time to reflect, reset, and rediscover your own voice. And while you're there, forgive the old version of yourself, the one that didn't know better. They got you here. Some secrets aren't meant to be shared. Keep your thoughts to yourself, because a friend today could be a stranger, or worse, by tomorrow. Choose yourself, even if it hurts. If someone treats you like an option, leave them like a choice. Sometimes you must lose something familiar to gain something extraordinary. No struggle, no strength. Stop trying to skip the struggle. That's where your soul is forged. That's where resilience is born. Define your problems properly, and you'll almost always uncover the solution. There are no shortcuts worth taking. The true test of who you are, it's what you do when no one is watching. Do what's right, even if it breaks someone's heart, even if it's someone you love. You can't live their dream and yours at the same time. When you live for someone else's dream, you sacrifice your own. So here's your final reminder. You are not here to please, to impress, or to wait. You are here to build, to grow, and to become. If this video spoke to something deep inside you, like, comment, keep it up, and subscribe for more soul-shifting content. Until next time, keep your standards high, your vision clear, and your energy protected.